So Illuminor Szeras' rules have been leaked to the wild world of the internet, so let's see what we've got. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, the strategy focused 40k channel, where we're all about getting the most out of our miniatures on the tabletop. Strangely enough, Games Workshop previewed the rules for both Kyria Draxus and Ephrael Stern, but neglected poor old Szeras. But now someone seems to have got their hands on a copy of Pariah, so we can take a look at the stats for this absolutely awesome new model. I'm sure a lot of Necron players will be thinking about picking this guy up, what with the Indomitus box, and about 1 million new Necron kits on the way soon. If you were thinking about picking him up and you wanted to pre-order him, you can do it in the link in the video description below for Element Games. If you were thinking about buying him anyway, then Element Games can be used in the UK and Europe, and it's a way to both buy one and also support the channel. In any case, let's take a look at this nice new datasheet. So Illuminor Szeras was going to cost 130 points, and he is of course an HQ choice for Codex Necrons. He doesn't have the Dynasty keyword, but it also has the helpful effect of meaning that you can field him no matter what dynasty you're running, so compared with a lot of special characters, he is very flexible. For your 130 point investment, you get a very decent stat line, and also some powerful buffing abilities. The model's enormous compared with this previous version, and the stat line very much reflects that. He's gone from Strength and Toughness 4 to Strength and Toughness 6 for example. His full stat line is Movement 8, so it's really quite fast. Weapon and Ballistic Skill 3+, Strength and Toughness 6, 7 wounds, 4 attacks, Leadership 10 and a 3+ save, though he doesn't have any form of an invulnerable save. Nevertheless, that's a really beefy stat line to be chewing through for 130 points. He's both got the advantage of character protection, and he's got a defensive profile far more akin to a light vehicle than an independent character. Szeras is armed with his Eldritch Lance, and also quite amusingly he's got impaling legs, which give him a few extra attacks. In the shooting phase, that Eldritch Lance has 18-inch range, is Assault D3, Strength 8, AP-4 and D6 damage. Not so very different from things like Eldar Lances or Space Marine Meltagons really. On average you're looking at about 3 wounds per turn on a Toughness 7 vehicle within range. In melee he's no slouch either, the Eldritch Lance gives him Strength +1, so Strength 7, AP-3 and a flat 2 damage. A pretty decent all-round profile to be honest, pretty much optimised for chewing through Primaris Intercessors. He'll wound them on 3s, they'll only save on 6s, and he'll kill one with every wound he gets through. He gets 4 attacks with that, and on top of that his impaling legs will get him an extra 2 attacks. That's Strength User, so Strength 6, AP-2 and Damage 1. Just a little bit of extra anti-horde there if he does get in combat with something like Guardsman. So a reasonable defensive and offensive stat line, and a decent movement to get him where he needs to be. It's a fairly decent stat line, but I think to really justify him you do need to be making use of his buffs as well, but they are quite good. First of all, like most Necron characters, he has Living Metal, which means that he'll regenerate 1 wound at the start of each turn, so he'll be a bit tough to put down unless you focus fire for 1 turn. He has the Master Technomancer special rule, which is the +1 to Reanimation Protocol special rule that pretty much all Cryptechs get, the only real difference being that his will apply to any dynasty rather than just the dynasty that the Cryptech happens to be from. So say if you were running a multi-dynasty Necron list, maybe to make use of different special rules, then Szeras could be pretty helpful being able to help out both of them. Now besides those fairly standard buffs, he also has a couple of others. First of all, an Empiric Overcharger, which means that when a psychic test is taken for an enemy psyker within 9 inches, the enemy psyker suffers Perils of the Warp on any dice roll that's a double, instead of only a double 1 or a double 6. I'm guessing that this is the little Blackstone gizmo that sits over his left shoulder. I guess it's a nice to have to be honest, but frankly I don't think that this rule is very powerful. Frankly, if the psykers are scared about this rule, then it's going to be very easy just to drop back a few more inches and then cast from outside the range. It's only really going to affect units that absolutely need to be up and in your face making combat. Maybe things like Fighty Demon Princes, Demon Primarchs, or Grey Knight Paladins or something perhaps. I think that this really just isn't going to be an issue for support HQs casting powerful psychic powers, such as maybe Warp Time from a Chaos Sorcerer or Doom or Jinx from Eldar. Still though, very much a nice to have. His main buffing ability in my mind though, aside from the Master Technomancer special rule, is this Mechanical Augmentation special rule, where he can basically improve a squad of warriors or immortals. Basically at the end of your movement phase, you can select 1 warrior or immortal squad and roll a d3 and consult the table below for 1 random buff. Either they get +1 to their strength, +1 to their toughness, or +1 to their ballistic skill. For me, I think that the strength bonus is probably the least overwhelming. Neither warriors nor immortals are particularly strong in close combat, so I'd be quite tempted for a command reroll if I did roll that one. Either toughness or ballistic skill really are decent upgrades for them though. Going from toughness 4 to toughness 5 will be really relevant against a lot of weapons, not least Space Marine bolt weaponry which comes in strength 4, and it'll also help them out against strength 5 and 8 weapons, which are very common throughout 40k. Necrons are already tough, and this could really punish enemies for trying to wipe out a big unit. The bonus to ballistic skill is pretty excellent as well. Going from 3+ to 2+ is pretty excellent, a flat 25% damage increase till the end of the game. and this will also help out against any enemy modifiers that happen to be running around as well. Modifiers are less effective on units with higher ballistic skill. Now this one does kind of overlap with an Overlord's My Will Be Done ability, but at least you can free up that Overlord's ability to be used on another unit. I don't think that this Augmentation ability is quite as good as, say, Fabius Biles, who can pretty much guarantee the toughness upgrade, so you're always getting something useful out of it, but in combination with the other buffs and his stat line, I think it really pushes him over the edge. Finally, as just another chance to be able to use this buff, he also has the Atomic Energy Manipulator, which means if this model destroys one or more enemy units in the fight phase, then at the end of the phase it can use its mechanical augmentation as if it were the end of your movement phase. So this can be just another little way to try and trigger the rule at the end of a fight phase, if he happens to have killed an enemy character or finished off an enemy vehicle or something. I'm not sure how often that's going to come up, to be honest, unless the enemy is charging you turn 1 or turn 2. I feel like Szeras might well have already augmented all of his warriors and immortals nearby, so you won't be able to do it again at the end of a fight phase if he doesn't have any other viable targets left. Still though, it can be another way to deploy the same rule, and that's definitely not a bad thing to get a free buff. So I think it's a bit early to say exactly how Szeras is going to fit into the Necron army, particularly as we don't know the stat lines for all the new units, and we don't know how 9th edition is going to affect them points wise. Just on the basis of it, compared with what they have now though, I think he looks pretty credible. Fast, good shooting, good combat, flexibility to be taken in multiple dynasties, and 2 very good cryptech buffs that can be applied to the surrounding units. It looks like, seeing as he has the cryptech keyword, he would also work well with those crypto thralls as well, who could provide a little bit of extra close combat support, or at least stop him being targeted directly if he did happen to be caught out exposed after finishing off an enemy in close combat or something. In any case, looking forward to seeing what the other Necron rules bring us over the course of this week. I'm sure Games Workshop will be keeping us posted with previews quite regularly. If you'd like to see more similar videos like this, then feel free to subscribe to the channel, where I'll most certainly be reviewing any other Necron datasheets that we happen to get our hands on. If you've been enjoying the channel and are wanting to either pre-order Illuminor Szeras or purchase any other 40k miniatures in the near future, I'd just like to mention my Element Games affiliate link again. It's one of the ways that I help support the channel and keep on making these videos, so if you do live in the UK or Europe, then it can be a way to help support and say thank you for the videos on purchases you were going to make anyway. Basically, if you click the link in the video description and buy anything from Element Games, you get their normal 10 to 20% discount, and a small amount goes to Auspex Tactics without costing you any more. There is also a similar link for Amazon in the USA and Canada. Again, if you click that one and then make any orders whatsoever, a small amount goes to help support the channel, and it doesn't cost you any more at time of checkout. Again, can just be a way to help support the channel if you were already planning to buy some miniatures. In any case, a big thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.